Nothing beats the smell of freshly baked bread. Warm, comforting, and irresistible. Making bread at home is a rewarding experience. It's simpler than you think. With this guide, you'll be baking like a pro in no time. Before we start, let's gather our ingredients. Having everything ready and measured out will make the process smoother and more enjoyable. First, we need strong white bread flour, 500 grams. This flour is essential as it gives the bread its structure and strength, allowing it to rise beautifully and hold its shape. Make sure to measure it accurately for the best results. Next, we have active dry yeast, 7 grams. This is the magic ingredient that makes the bread rise. Yeast is a living organism that ferments the dough, producing carbon dioxide and alcohol, which helps the bread to expand and develop its texture. Warm water, 300 milliliters, is crucial for activating the yeast and bringing the dough together. The water should be warm but not too hot, ideally around 110 degrees Fahrenheit. This helps to wake up the yeast and get it working. Salt, 10 grams, is added for flavor and to control the yeast's activity. It strengthens the gluten network and enhances the overall taste of the bread. Be careful not to add too much, as it can inhibit the yeast. And finally, sugar, 1 teaspoon. This acts as food for the yeast and adds a touch of sweetness to the bread. The sugar helps to speed up the fermentation process, giving the bread a nice, light texture. With all these ingredients ready, we're set to start baking. In a large bowl, sprinkle the yeast and sugar over the warm water. Let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. The yeast will become foamy, showing it's active and ready to work its magic. Add the flour and salt to the yeast mixture. Stir with a wooden spoon until it forms a rough dough. Now, it's time to use your hands to knead. Section 5. The importance of kneading. Turn the dough out onto a lightly floured surface. Knead for about 10 minutes. Push the dough away from you with the heel of your hand, then fold it back over itself. Rotate the dough, and repeat. The dough should become smooth and elastic. Section 6. The first rise. Patience is key. Shape the dough into a ball and place it in a lightly oiled bowl. Cover the bowl with a clean tea towel and let it rise in a warm place for about an hour. The dough should double in size. Section 7. Shaping your bread. This is a crucial step in the bread-making process that determines the final look and texture of your bread. Start by punching down the risen dough to release the air bubbles that have formed during the rising process. This helps to create a more even crumb structure in your final product. Now, you can choose to make a loaf or individual rolls. Each shape has its own unique appeal and uses. Consider what you need the bread for: sandwiches, dinner rolls, or perhaps a special occasion. For a loaf, shape the dough into an oblong shape and place it in a greased loaf tin. Make sure the dough is evenly distributed in the tin to ensure even baking. For rolls, divide the dough into equal pieces and shape them into rounds. This can be done by rolling the dough between your hands until smooth. Place them on a baking sheet, making sure to leave enough space between each roll for them to expand during baking. This will ensure they bake evenly and have a nice round shape. Section 8. The second rise in oven preparation. This step is crucial for achieving the perfect texture and flavor in your bread. Cover the shaped dough with a cloth or plastic wrap and let it rise for another 30 minutes. This second rise allows the dough to develop more flavor and a lighter texture. While the dough rises, take this time to preheat your oven to 220 degrees Celsius. This ensures that the oven is at the right temperature when the dough is ready to bake. If you're using a fan oven, set it to 200 degrees Celsius. The fan helps distribute the heat more evenly, which can affect the baking time and the crust's texture. For those using Fahrenheit, this translates to about 425 degrees. Make sure your oven is fully preheated before placing the dough inside to ensure even baking. As the dough rises, you'll notice bubbles forming on the surface. This is a good sign that the yeast is active and working its magic. To check if the dough is ready, gently press it with your finger. If it springs back slowly, it's ready for the oven. If it springs back quickly, give it a bit more time to rise. Section 9. Baking to golden perfection. Bake the bread for 25 to 30 minutes or until golden brown. To check if it's done, tap the bottom of the loaf. It should sound hollow. Section 10. Enjoying your freshly baked bread. Once baked, remove the bread from the oven and let it cool on a wire rack. Brush the top with melted butter for a softer crust. Enjoy your homemade bread warm with butter, jam, or your favorite topping.